I think one of the things that you have to do as an artist is it's great to acknowledge and then realise, how you work. And I think that's come through my academic work as an anthropologist, reflexivity, asking why you're doing something. And so that leads to, I was actually just talking with a student yesterday, and reflexivity is a pathway to enlightenment. It's a pathway to understanding yourself, and a pathway to more transparent work, and the transparency is afforded to the audience in the process. And I'm a process artist. Improv and performance are all about being present in the now, and the outcome. If you dwell on the outcome, you're kind of dwelling on what's coming up, and you're missing the point. And it's great to have a chess mind and to be aware of what the next couple of steps are, but to not let those change what you're doing right now, in case the opponent's move renders your plans useless. And of course in music, there are no opponents, we're all whānau. Collaboration is easy, that it doesn't have to be tangled up in tangly stuff. It kind of reminds me of something my 10-year-old daughter said, in the car, all the kids in the back seat, and Alice, 10 years old, she says, what is improvisation? And Felix, my 17-year-old son, says, what you're doing right now. And it's true, we don't acknowledge that conversation is improvisation, that socialization is improvisation, that following through with daily tasks often requires improvisation, even though there's maybe routine there. And so just, I think, maybe what I'm kind of leading to is this idea that the New Zealand School of Music, through taking me on as a composer in residence, has opened a conversation. It's opened a conversation not just with taonga pūoro, but I believe it's opened a conversation with various other elements that taonga pūoro maybe encompasses, like the Treaty of Waitangi, recognising that's a conversation, that the treaty is a conversation. And so through Pākehā and Māori collaboration musically, it is inherently a conversation based within the Treaty of Waitangi. And so that students, because it's something that I have come across quite a bit. I came across it with Selena. I hope she doesn't mind me saying, because I've heard her say it to other people, but this idea that there's a fear, or because it's unknown, that how do you ask a taonga pūoro player if they'd like to take part in your project? And it was John Sarthis, that encouraged her to get a hold of me, and it was just about, and it's what I do so often. Like when I'm inspired by someone in a way where I want to work with them, I contact them, and I don't say necessarily, would you like to work with me? I say, wow, I'm really inspired by your work. I'd love to work with you, and you put it out there, and so there is a lot of kind of putting things on the line, and I really. And so a lot of the students that have come forward that I'm collaborating with currently from the school, there was this, it was like a self-imposed blockade where they always wanted to, but they didn't know how to get there, and I try to work with the idea that, you know, we can just be casual about it, that we, by our intention, we honour the tradition, but that resting on ceremony can so often actually kind of hinder the conversation. That if all conversations are highly ritualised, we tend not to really get to the heart of the matter. And so once the ritual is activated and enacted and passed through, then let's have a real talk and kind of get down to the real stuff about who we are as people, and that's why I keep making music. It's about the people that I meet, and the friendships I make, the connections that I make with those people, that are they're deep and real, and they change our lives. They make us think about stuff that we've tried to avoid or that we've never considered, and so with that, then we become new. We become new people, which is, and we become joined, which is, these elements are highly integral to various Māori ceremony and ritual, and so if we can come to terms with the fact that we just do them naturally, then, you know, on a daily basis, then we can come to terms with a living culture that is real, but also realistic and relevant, so that these things can help us to grow rather than to limit us, help us to reach our potential rather than to contain us and cage us.